Go.
Welcome to the 46th annual Abe Pollin City Title Girls High School Basketball Game, featuring the best from the WCAC, the private schools, the Good Counsel, the Lady Falcons versus the H.D. Woodson Lady Warriors, the best of the D.C. public schools from the DCIAA. Hello everybody, I'm Monica Moore, alongside former Georgetown standout Monica McNutt. And Monica, you have played in this city title game. What does it mean for these two teams here today?
Well, it's a huge honor, Monica. First of all, you have to look at these teams' body of work to get here in the first place, and then to have a high school game here in the Verizon Center where professional teams play. I mean, the buzz around this game, it's exciting. It's bragging rights. It's capping off your season, sending the seniors home on a high note. It's a great event to be a part of.
These two teams have already put together so many accolades so far this season. Obviously winning their respective conferences is a huge feat, but getting this win tonight would be a really big deal.
This certainly would be a big one. I mean, typically the WCAC on the women's side has dominated, but Woodson has been here twice in the past 3 years, and we're definitely ready to mix it up. So we'll see what happens tonight.
Back to the booth. Reset.
And of course, Monica, these games, as you said, live from the Verizon Center. They are being live streamed at WashingtonPost.com, so you can watch it live. You can watch the replay over and over again. You've already talked about the stage here tonight, how huge this is for these two teams. Certainly a great way to cap off their seasons here tonight. Monica, what do you think are going to be the big keys early on for these teams, other than getting over the fact of playing in this building?
Well, I actually misspoke in our open. Woodson has won twice here in the past 4 years. They've made 4 total trips. So I think Woodson may have a slight edge when you talk about experience. These girls have played in this facility. They've been a part of this dance before. Or to talk about the council, they only have one player, Faith Randolph, who was here her freshman year. So for them, a whole new team, a whole new event. But when you're a hooper, you're a hooper. And big-time players make big-time plays in big-time games.
When you reference that event back in 2009, these two teams actually played each other back in that game. Woodson got the better of Good Counsel, and so some of these players are around for that. I'm sure that's on their minds a little bit, but I talked with Mike Oliver Jr. before the game a little bit, and the thing he emphasized is that every single team is different. You have different personnel, it's a different mentality, and so despite the fact that his team has been here tonight, he has really stressed to them that they have to step up their game tonight and really focus, because the past 2 years they've seen teams that haven't played in this event the past few years come in and give them defeats.
I mean, and he's absolutely right. When you look at this Good Counsel team, I mean, they knocked off St. John's for the WCAC title. You're talking about teams that have power players, kids going to major schools. Faith Randolph in the WCAC, Player of the Year. But then you've got the junior and Amanda Fioravanti, who's up and coming. I checked out Good Counsel and St. John's at Good Counsel, and I can't tell you, the gym was just overflowing with college coaches in these college sweatshirts. So we're talking about some big-time players on this Good Counsel squad.
And absolutely, as you said, players going over to play at the next level. But now let's join Daniel Zimmett over on the sideline. Daniel, what do you have for us?
I got an opportunity to talk to both Coach Oliver and Coach Splain before the game today. They really emphasized that playing in the Verizon Center, there's no difference in their game style. You really need to just play your game and take good shots. But the key across the board was just that these girls really need to have fun. It might be the only opportunity they get to play in a venue like this. Back to you.
And a very good point. So special tonight, getting to play in this venue. Let's talk a little bit, Monica, about our two coaches. I know you're very familiar with the coach from Good Counsel, Tom Splain, because in high school you squared off against his team a bit. Also, Frank Oliver, two of the best in the area. This is going to be quite a chess match between these two coaches.
I mean, they certainly are two coaches that have legacy in the community of girls basketball in this area. I mean, I remember coaching against Coach Splain and playing against Coach Oliver. We actually beat Woodson in my senior year in 2007. So as I moved into the media to see both these guys, I mean, they're more than willing to give interviews and communicate, but they're both very focused on their programs, both players on their roster. They both have players that have graduated who are more than celebrated in the game of women's basketball and have gone on to do great things in college. This is really about the kids in uniform right now, and they are so dedicated to the program, which is why we continue to see them.
Well, and speaking of those players that have gone on to play at the next level, Frank Oliver Jr. talked with us a little bit before the game about the fact that they haven't had a game in the last 3 weeks. So the way that they have prepared for this contest is that they've had college players come back, former players that have been on the roster for them in the past, come back and work out with their team. They even had Brian Leftwich come back and work out with them. I hear he's watching the game here tonight. And so that's got to be really motivating for these players to see these college players come back, and it just tells you the strength of this program, the family atmosphere that they have.
It is. I mean, not only college players, but Byron Leftwich, we're talking about a professional athlete. I mean, hanging out at practice, are you kidding me? Of course I'm going to step up and get focused, but that speaks to these programs and these coaches, but also the communities that are being developed in terms of athletics at these schools. I mean, you want people to graduate from your program and to come back and continue to give back, continue to wear their high school sweatshirt, even though maybe a little small, you know, years on and years out. So that's exciting. I can't imagine how inspiring that is to have a professional athlete in the gym.
And speaking of following high school sports, for all your high school sports stories, game coverage, videos, photo galleries, and recruiting news, visit allmetsports.com, a product of the Washington Post. allmetsports.com, every school, every sport, all the time. And we are almost ready for our opening tip-off. You see Woodson wearing the white jerseys and Good Counsel in the blue jerseys here today. The officials almost set to get things started. You see it's going to be Jeffany Brown squaring off against Amanda Fioravanti. And Fioravanti wins the opening tip, so our first possession will be for the Good Counsel Falcons. They would love to get off to a quick start tonight. Strong, aggressive move by Lindsay Spann, one of their captains, to get things started.
Very early on, you see players that are key to this Good Counsel program, Fioravanti and Lindsay Spann. They are both capable of filling that thing up.
Nice look inside. They're looking for Brown. They want to get her involved, and they do.
Stay on her, Jeff.
Jeffany Brown, beautiful post move.
Keep it on her.
The matchup between Jeffany Brown and Amanda Fioravanti is going to be key tonight. Brown may be a little bit more athletic, but Fioravanti's footwork is impeccable inside that paint.
And I think that's one of the things people look the most forward to these city title games, the matchups that they create between some of the area's best players, and that's going to be a great one, as you said, to keep our eyes on all evening long. Woodson looks to the corner. This is Ronnie Bell, another senior. She'll hand off. Shot is good for Ronnie Bell, a three-pointer, and just like that, Woodson has stretched their lead out to 3. A nice aggressive defense by the Warriors. we're going to get a jump ball situation, but right now the momentum, Monica, has swung to Woodson.
This Woodson team is tough. You give them a lead, they're not going to easily give that thing up. However, I've seen Good Counsel play a number of times this season, and they are probably one of the best teams in the area at overcoming deficits.
Woodson bringing the ball up the floor, number 33, Chanel Green, another senior. This is a senior-laden team as number 10, Janae Blunt, drives and scores yet again. Woodson on a roll, everything clicking on offense. Now Good Counsel going to be called for the travel. So a turnover right there, and then the jump ball situation. Good Counsel a little bit flustered while Woodson taking advantage.
Early on, Woodson clearly the aggressors. I think the team that is able to deliver the first knockout punch in this game will probably have the advantage. On defense, they're trapping, they're moving. On offense, they're just attacking the run.
Good Counsel coming over to defend. Ronnie Bell forcing the turnover. This is Fioravanti bringing the ball up the floor. Shot rattles around, no good for Lindsey Spann. And it will be Woodson ball. So right now Woodson up 7-2. 6 minutes, 5 seconds remaining in this first quarter that has been all HD Woodson. Woodson senior class has come out to play tonight. Nice drive by Green. Looking inside to Brown, blocked. Nice post defense by Good Counsel.
Good Counsel sort of needs to regroup. They have to settle in and trust the things that have gotten here. They're a solid defensive team. They make you sit down and execute on offense.
Lindsey Spann bringing the ball up the floor, all WCAC this season is Woodson applying a little pressure, trying to force the turnover, and they don't have to put that much effort to it, and just a mental error, Monica, by the Falcons.
And we talk about big venue, new game, all that good stuff. I think we're seeing a little bit of jitters early on from this Falcons team, but we're what? 3 minutes in or so they've got plenty of time to regroup. However, they might not want to let this lead expand too much before they regroup.
Absolutely. I think this is a great timeout call right here, and you talked about it so much. Woodson's been here. They've played in this venue. They're much more familiar with it, and perhaps that is taking its toll right now for Good Counsel, because a bit uncharacteristic for them in the first 2.5 minutes.
Certainly uncharacteristic. Coach Swain talked about the Bishop Walsh tournament. That was supposed to get them geared up and ready to go for this tournament. Right now, shaking off those cobwebs.
And you're exactly right. Good Counsel has had the benefit of a couple extra games after they won the WCAC championship. They played in that Bishop Walsh tournament, so got some other good competition. They saw St. John's again. Nice drive, and Chanel Green once again able to convert on offense. And Monica, what's so impressive is just how efficient on offense Woodson has been. They're taking high percentage shots.
They certainly are. They're getting ghosted in the paint. They're controlled as a good team to be able to respond on that offensive possession. But the team that is going to be able to maintain this tempo and take control of the tempo is going to be the team that has the advantage.
Sarah Woods with the answer for Good Counsel as Woodson goes to Brown once again, and another block by Good Counsel inside. That shot short by Faith Randolph. And Woodson quickly getting into their transition game. This is Janae Blount with the bucket. You see the emotion. Nice look ahead by the Falcons. Fioravanti with the answer.
This Good Counsel team is certainly not going to back down. If they can withstand this first punch by Woodson and get their feet under them and get a little bit more of a handle on this game, I'm sure the score will get closer.
You see the intensity on Chanel Green's face as she drove in for that layup. Really sums up how Woodson has played. They have come out tonight. It has been all business so far for HD Woodson. Not making life easy for Good Counsel. Great job by number 21, Faith Randolph, to break through the defense. That shot will not fall. Fioravanti battling for the rebound. It will remain with Good Counsel as our first substitutes of the game coming in for the Warriors. They look for Fioravanti up top. Nice rebound by Woodson.
Fioravanti almost looking for the contact call versus just going through that contact and finishing on that bucket.
Breon Huey handling the ball for Woodson, driving, draws the contact. And Monica, Woodson so far has been really aggressive. They've been looking to drive, they've been looking to create. They clearly have been the aggressors in this contest.
Taking advantage of their foot speed. They definitely have that advantage over this good Kelsey team. Coach Blaine mentioned that if they get out in transition, it could be a problem. Well, thus far in the half court, they've just been able to get into the paint and get high quality opportunities and convert.
Breon Huey at the free throw line for Woodson. She is a 67.2% free throw shooter. She drains both of them and extends this Woodson lead out to 9. So good counsel looking for the answer. They do not want this lead to get to double digits, but the aggressive defense of the Warriors once again able to force the turnover. Huey bringing the ball up the floor once again for Woodson. 3 minutes, 14 seconds in this first quarter. It has been all Woodson as they go to Najee Prince. The shot will not fall. Quickly down the court comes Woods. And look at Fioravanti. Fioravanti has been battling in the low post, doing a great job on the offensive boards, but it will be Woodson basketball.
We see mistakes like that, throwing the ball at each other's feet, scrambling, and able to get a handle on the basketball. You definitely can tell early on that's nerves, and it may be a little bit of frustration kicking in now.
Stephanie Brown rejoining the game as Ronnie Bell will take a seat on the bench. Coach Frank Oliver Jr. has been substituting quite a bit, trying to keep his players fresh. And really no drop-off for Frank Oliver Jr. when his substitutes have come into this contest.
It's a beautiful thing to have as a coach.
And certainly one reason why they have been so successful. And let's go back over to Daniel Zimmett for another update.
Coach Splain of good counsel is really frustrated with the way that his players are attacking the press from Woodson. He's really screaming at them that he wants them to break the press with the pass only, no dribbles in the backcourt at all. We'll see if they're able to be able to break the press a little easier now with only passing. Back to you.
And right there, the defense of good counsel forcing a jump ball, so Coach Splain has to be happy with that, but clearly the pressure is getting to good counsel. That defensive press, they've struggled with it and have had a couple of turnovers.
Having been in this position a time or two before, I think good counsel is in desperate need of what's called an emotional lift play. It could be a bucket, it could be a jump ball, who knows? They're going to have something happen that gets them going.
Chanel Green shot will not fall. Put back by Jeffany Brown. We'll talk about an emotional play, but Jeffany Brown is the one that gets it done for Woodson. Their lead now double digits. That shot by Jordan Light will not fall. And Woodson right now on a tear, up by 11 in the late minutes of this first quarter. Green has been so aggressive handling the ball for Woodson, a big reason why their offense has been so effective in this first quarter. Now Blunt up top, trying to work past her defender, and again, being very aggressive, did not have the angle. Brown with the putback, and then Fioravanti is going to be fouled by Theresa Gilmore. Stay on her toes. Andrea Watkins now entering the game for Woodson. Janae Blount will take a seat on the bench as Frank Oliver Jr. continues with his revolving door of substitutions. Quickly approaching the 1 minute mark in this first quarter, and again, good counsel struggling a little with the press, but still with possession. Nice look inside to Fioravanti, and she is fouled once again. That is 2 quick fouls by Theresa Gilmore.
That's probably what Coach Splain wants to see. That was probably by far one of the most aggressive possessions we've seen thus far in the contest for this good counsel team. They beat the press like Coach Splain explained. Coach Splain explained with a pass up the floor, and then Fioravanti with an aggressive move to the basket, earning herself a trip to the free throw line.
A Amanda Fioravanti, a 70.2% free throw shooter, drains the first one. Second opportunity coming up. She is being considered for the Maryland Gatorade Girls Basketball Player of the Year, and you can certainly see why. She has been very aggressive in the low post, battling for those offensive rebounds, and obviously a strong offensive option for Good Counsel all season long, averaging 18 points per game, the leading scorer on this team.
And she just does all the dirty work. She's in there rebounding, getting put back, typically making free throws. She gets those baskets and those points accumulate, and she's one of the hardest workers on this team.
Next.
And up next, we will have the boys title game featuring Paul VI versus Coolidge. So you're certainly going to want to watch that one as well. But right now, it is HB Woodson that has owned this first quarter of the girls' city title game. And another turnover. We heard Daniel talking about that. Tom Splain cannot be happy right now with the way that his team is still continuing to handle the pressure.
They're just flat out of character. I can't speak of a time that I saw this Good Counsel team and they looked this frazzled and razzled and out of control. That's not the type of system that Coach Splain runs. These girls need to settle in and buckle down defensively and offensively. They've got to be a little bit more patient.
Another nice look inside. Stephanie Brown cannot convert, but at the end of our first quarter, it is Woodson 19, Good Counsel 7. Everything clicking offensively for Woodson, their defense clicking, and certainly right now Good Counsel is back on their heels a little bit. They seem a little shell-shocked about how aggressive Woodson's come out.
Definitely, I think that's the exact diagnosis in terms of what's going on. In a game like this, you cannot come out with the deer headlights. Because even when you think you've got no break, eventually the deficit still remains. So Good Counsel really needs to take this opportunity to keep the point of to breathe. They can certainly compete with this team. Their record says so, their talent says so. But right now, mentally, Woodson are far more aggressive, far more confident, and has Good Counsel completely out of this game.
Monica, you talked a little earlier about what this Good Counsel team needs is that emotional lift play. And I think to go along with it, they need some of their stars to step up right now, help settle this team down, and really try to get something going on offense. They're looking to those stars, those standouts. Faith Randolph has been very quiet in the early goings of this contest.
Faith Randolph, the rest of her teammates. I mean, that's the beauty of big when one person is unable to win, someone else is able to manage that. But what we have here on this Good Counsel team right now is the job done. All of the players look frazzled, and they don't look confident. Watch them take their shots. Their shots are much better. This is a good shooting team, but you wouldn't know about what we've seen thus far.
Absolutely not. They have been completely taken out of their offense. Does not look like the Good Counsel team that a lot of people expected to see here today. I know you included, who is very familiar with this Good Counsel team. And so let's see if during the second quarter they're able to get things going both offensively and defensively, because that's the other thing. They have not defensively had an answer for what Woodson's been able to do on offense.
It'll be interesting to see if they switch to a zone to help keep some of these Woodson Warriors out of the paint, because in this man-to-man defense, they seem to be taking advantage of their quickness and speed versus the Falcons defenders.
And an offensive rebound right there by Jeffany Brown to start out this second quarter. That shot by Ronnie Bell seemed a little forced, but then Jeffany Brown with the rebound, she will head to the free throw line where she shoots 60.8%. The Providence commit has had such a season so far. For Woodson drains the first one and continues to extend this lead out, now at 13 for Woodson. Jeffany Brown just does so much for this team. That one too short as Stacey Kuchers comes down with the rebound. You see how quickly Faith Randolph was collapsed upon, but a beautiful pass as they get Sarah Woods involved on offense.
That's the poise that is typical of this Good Counsel team.
Woodson once again now systematically on offense. They have done such a good job breaking down the Good Counsel defense in the early goings of this 46th annual Abe Poland City title game. Nice look to the corner. Green going inside to Brown. Last touch by Fioravanti.
Transition game, Monica's block.
And Monica, of course, not only do you announce basketball games, but you write a blog online, the Transition Game blog, which is a great resource for high school athletes thinking about going on to the next level to get to read about from the perspective of someone who's done the things they're looking to do.
You know, honestly, it's just my love project. It's almost like your big sister giving you some advice and some tips to consider, because when you're dealing with the process of recruiting, there's so much that so many student athletes and their parents don't know to consider in the process. And you're talking about a 4-year commitment. You want to think this thing through and be very confident in the decision that you're making.
Well, as someone who reads your blog, definitely want to emphasize that it's not just for people who want to be college basketball players. Really anyone who's looking to go on and play at that next level, you can get a lot of helpful insight and information from Monica. You can even send her questions if there's something that you want Monica to address.
I love the questions. I love the questions.
Or comments, if you want to comment on anything she said.
I mean, being a collegiate athlete, it's one of those things that you really don't know until you get there. So I'm just trying to brace you a little bit.
And a number of these athletes out on the floor are going to get that experience very shortly. And if you want to purchase a copy of this city title game, you can purchase it at www.synthesismp.com. Again, right now this one has been all Woodson, but you can't imagine that Good Counsel is going to stay quiet for that much longer. A team as good as the Falcons, I think everyone expects will try to go on a run here.
As quietly as it's kept, the lead is only 10 points. So, you know, that's 5 baskets. We got an entire another half of basketball to go, and the second quarter is still very much alive. So if this team, again, can settle down, the advantage of playing against a team that presses is it's all about strategic passing. Like we saw in that last offensive possession where Good Counsel scored in the regular shot clock. If they can see that pass, if there's 2 people on you, someone's wide open, and they can get the poise to make the right pass, those passes turn into buckets.
And again, up next, we will have the boys city title game, which features the Paul VI Panthers versus the Coolidge Colts. Another great one people have been excited about for the past few weeks, because this is really the latest that many people can remember this city title game being played on March 20th. So as we already talked about, for Woodson, they've been off for a couple of weeks and have had to try to stay fresh.
With the NBA lockout and that whole situation, you know, it's really a big deal to have this game here. So, I understand opting to wait, but like I said, Bishop Walsh was way after the city title game back in my day.
Well, and certainly that's what Tom Splain said to us before the game, is that typically that's the end of their season, but it's really been the way that they've ramped up for this city title game. They had the luxury of playing in those contests to help keep them fresh for this battle against Woodson. And it will remain Woodson basketball. 6 minutes, 3 seconds remaining in this first half. Nice aggressive play right there by Lindsey Spann, not able to force the turnover. Woodson working. Shot in the lane by Blount, no good. Now Spann working the ball quickly down the floor. Beautiful pass once again to Sarah Woods. And it's been Sarah Woods that's really been stepping up on offense, but she has been assisted by her teammates.
But a great pass by Spann, who hunted the paint and met the aggression with aggression. We know that Woodson wants to press, but you take a team out of their press by ramming the ball right down their throat before they can set up for their pressure.
Green driving, Fioravanti with the block, making it look easy was Amanda Fioravanti, and just like that, some renewed life in this Good Counsel team. They have cut the deficit to 7. Sarah Woods feeling it, shot no good. Ronnie Bell with the rebound right there. Big rebound by the senior, who has yet to commit but has lots of offers from many different schools.
One of the 4 seniors that make up the nucleus of this team. Very early on in the season, they played Riverdale Baptist in the tournament at Archbishop Carroll High School. And they were down by about 15 at one point. Probably one of the most exciting girls' high school basketball games I've seen this season. Under a minute to go, the score is tied. We're sending a Riverdale player to the free throw line to win the game. I mean, they just furiously fought back, led by Janae Blount, excuse me.
Right now, Woodson being patient on offense, setting things up, making sure they get the play that they want. have not been as efficient on offense during this second quarter, and that shot by Jeffany Brown will not fall. And so right now, here's an opening for Good Counsel to cut into this deficit even more. Once again, they go to Woods. She has been very effective, and Sarah Woods will head to the free throw line.
Great read by Woods, realizing that her defender wasn't set and she had that baseline option, going strong, not worried about the call, actually attempting to make the shot, earning the call.
Sarah Woods, a 70.6% free throw shooter. She only averages 7 points per game, but really has been one of the big offensive threats so far in this contest for Good Counsel.
It's her last game of this season. I mean, she has absolutely nothing to lose, and she's playing that way.
Follow both of these teams. You can go to allnetsports.com for all your high school sports stories, game coverage, videos, photo galleries, and recruiting news. Visit allnetsports.com, a product of the Washington Post. Every school, every sport, all the time. Just like that, Good Counsel has cut this lead to 5. It's Woodson all of a sudden that's gone very cold offensively.
Well, defensively, Good Counsel made the move that I suspected they would. They forced Woodson to take outside shots. They switched to his own.
And no surprise that Frank Oliver Jr. is going to call a timeout. Now it's Faith Randolph, finally the senior that gets a lot of playing time for this team. They're much younger than Woodson. Now she's getting into the mix. This lead, Monica, down to 3.
It was only a matter of time. I mean, it's very strategic. When you're dealing with a team that presses and is as furious as Woodson is. In fact, Blount described them as controlled chaos. So when you're dealing with controlled chaos, you have to be more controlled offensively. Duh, which is what we saw as the Falcons made their comeback. They handled the press, they made the right pass. I saw 3 layups, and you saw trips to the free throw line. Buckets, and the lead is back down to 3.
Absolutely, and this is the city title game that we expected. A close contest. You cannot blink because this Good Counsel team, although they came out a little rattled, perhaps a little bothered by this venue, playing here in the Verizon Center, and it's a big deal. This is where the Wizards play. This is where the Capitals play. But they have settled in, and now Woodson a bit back on their heels, looking to have a good offensive possession here. They need a high percentage shot to get out of this slump that they've been in on offense.
In Woodson's mind, a high percentage shot is getting all the way to the rim. We saw Jeffany Brown unable to finish as there are so many more big bodies in now that Good Counsel has switched to his zone.
Outside shot by Bell will not fall. And now an opportunity here for Good Counsel to tie things up or at least cut into this margin even more. An outside shot by Stacey Boutros, and we are all tied up 20 apiece. And again, it's the role players that are stepping up for Good Counsel right now.
It's their time, and as a teammate, as a coach, you love it. As long as somebody's putting up points and keeping you alive, you know, you're happy. But I saw that play happen. A great job by...
But the answer by Ronnie Bell. And we have a contest right now between these two squads, and then a nice defensive play by Jeffany Brown.
About it being a chess game in our open. It's all about styles in basketball. Whose transition game is going to be more effective and whose half-court set is going to be more effective.
So now Woodson has re-extended their lead back out to 3, but it has been Good Counsel with the hot hand. Faith Randolph ties it up once again. The senior averaging 16.6 points per game was quiet in the first quarter, but she has come alive in this second quarter.
That is just poise.
Green layup will not fall. And all of a sudden, the layups that were falling in the first corner, not falling. And an offensive foul going to be called against Good Counsel.
Does the restricted line apply for this game? I'm going to wonder about that call a little bit. But a great attack there by Morgan.
Inabasi going to be called for the charge, but Monica questioning a little bit. A lot of the fans in this building questioning that call just a little bit. Would have been a big play. Could have given Good Counsel a a lead that they have so desperately been looking for in this contest, but instead we are all tied up 23 apiece. And another three-pointer, this one by Breon Huey. It is raining three-pointers all of a sudden. Both teams have found their shooting touch from the outside. The pressure continues by Woodson. It has been a signature of theirs all game long. Good Counsel struggled with it very much in the first quarter. It was a huge story. And now Randolph trying to get things going. That one rims out. Inabasi. That one will go for Nicole Inabasi.
It'll be interesting to see if Coach Oliver calls back the pressure a little bit in this last minute, 30 seconds to go in the half.
Woodson still continuing to drive, try to create. Again, up next, we will have the boys city title game featuring the Paul VI Panthers versus the Coolidge Colts. We're expecting another great one, just like this one is turning out to be between these two teams here tonight. It remains with Woodson. 1 minute, 26 seconds remaining in this first half. Woodson up by 1. Again, I'm Monica Moore alongside former Georgetown standout Monica McNutt, former champion of the 2007 city title game back when she played for Holy Cross. That shot off the mark. Battle for the rebound. Randolph comes up with it. Span was streaking ahead, hoping for the pass, and instead it's going to be a travel call against the Falcons.
Brianna Hardy that time getting a little bit too ahead of herself. You knew that Faith Randolph was going to push the basketball up the floor, and you had Lindsey Span on one side spotting up. She made a good pass to Hardy, but that time you got to catch first.
So just over a minute remaining. Woodson with the ball and the lead. But the momentum has really shifted over to Good Counsel in this second quarter. Woodson going outside to Ronnie Bell. Nothing there. Now Blount trying to get Bell involved. That shot off the mark. Great job by Janae Blount to tip the ball back outside. Saves the possession for the Warriors. Huey's shot will not fall, but another great play with an offensive rebound. Teresa Gilmore has been very active in the low post for Woodson. She's going to be rewarded for her efforts right here at the free throw line where she shoots 50%. But that was two nice plays on the glass by Teresa Gilmore.
Every player on this Warriors team has a role, and they have all accepted it. They've embraced it beyond accepting it, and that's exactly what you see here.
Gilmore has had her struggles this season from the line. That one's too short. And again, for all your high school sports stories, game coverage, videos, photo galleries, and recruiting news, visit allmetsports.com, a product of the Washington Post. Allmetsports.com, every school, every sport, all the time. Gilmore looking to capitalize on the second. The first one was too short. A lot of times players overcompensate on the second, but that one perfect for Teresa Gilmore. Woodson up by 2. Their pressure pays off once again. Chanel Green pushing down the floor. Gonna be called for the travel.
I know that call would be disputed by Woodson faithful. However, before Green could run into the defender, she did indeed try.
So a good call by the officials. As Good Counsel looking to cut into this lead, and they're going to turn the ball over, and this is reminiscent of the first quarter right now and the trouble that Good Counsel had with that Woodson pressure.
Woodson's pressure has completely sped Good Counsel up. I mean, they did what they had to do to come back and cut this lead. Then we saw an exchange of threes on both ends as Coach Blaine gets Fioravanti out of the game. He's in a little bit of foul trouble. But now, this last 11.2, the team that is poised and in the most control will make the most of it.
As you said, 11.2 seconds remaining when we resume play here. So likely Woodson going to try to hold here for the last shot of the half. That shot by Bell will not fall. And that will end our first half of action. The Woodson Warriors up 27-25 over the Good Counsel Falcons. You have to give a lot of credit to the Falcons. After being back on their heels for most of the first quarter, they really came back in the second quarter and really shifted the momentum.
Well, you talked about role players for Good Counsel stepping up. Sarah Woods, Stacey Kuchers coming in and hitting some big buckets until Faith Randolph could get going for her team. They've been very poised, and that's why they're back into this game.
And quickly, let's go over to Daniel Zemek, who's with Frank Oliver Jr.
I'm standing here alongside Coach Oliver of Woodson High School. Coach, can you kind of talk about the press in the first half, the effectiveness of that?
Well, I felt like it was pretty effective. You know, we want to try to keep some type of full court pressure on them at all times. They're a great team. We don't want to let them get in the rhythm.
What do you need to do in the second half to extend the lead here and win this game?
We just need to knock some shots down. We're getting all the looks that we want. We got to knock shots down, and we got to get stops on the other end. Had a couple of breakdowns, but I think we can make some adjustments at halftime.
Good luck in the second half, Coach. Back to you guys.
So Frank Oliver Jr. talking about they need to make some adjustments at halftime, some of those shots not falling in the second quarter, but the pressure was really the huge key, I think, to their success in this first half.
The pressure was a huge key. That was that first knockout punch that we talked about being delivered. But then, offensively, as soon as Good Counsel switched to that zone, instead of attacking the zone, which can be done, dribble, drive, and then pass, they settled for outside jump shots, which they did go on a streak of hitting them, but consistently were unable to hit them. They are a far better team, and they are able to be more efficient when they're scoring inside the paint.
And let's go back over to Daniel Zemek, who's with Josh Barr.
I'm standing here alongside now with Josh Barr of the Washington Post. Josh, can you talk about the next game and what we might see out of the players?
Well, I think Coolidge and Paula Six is going to be a very exciting game. Both teams are on a roll. You know, Paula Six had only lost twice all year before they lost in the Alhambra tournament this past weekend to DeMatha. They'd won 3 games earlier against DeMatha. They're going to be without one of their top players. Stan Robinson's not going to play tonight. He broke a school rule. He's got to sit out. Paula Six, you know, the one thing that they've really gotten by on this year, they're a deep team. They've got a lot of very good players. They don't rely on any one player too much. I think that's going to really be vital for them tonight. You know, Coolidge is as hot as anybody. They haven't lost since the first week of January, and you know they got a trio of good players. Deshaun Mormon is an electric 6'4" forward. Kaylin Cumberlander is a point guard who's hit a couple big 3 throws this year. They've beaten Montrose Christian, they've beaten Riverdale Baptist, and their big man Maurice Jeffers is 6'8". You know, and I think he plays a big role protecting his basket. He doesn't score a lot, but the thing Maurice Jeffers gives you is good, solid rebounding and defense all game long.
What do you think it's like to be playing in such a big venue like the Verizon Center? Will that have any effect on the game tonight?
I don't think so. These teams are used to playing in big games. I mean, you usually see the shooting difference from a high school gym to a college gym or pro gym. But, you know, they've played a lot of games in college gyms this year. Both teams have played. Coolidge is, you know, a big arena-like feel also. You know, I think what will be interesting to see is how the arena's going to fill out. You know, there are not a lot of people here for the girls' game right now. Are we going to get a big crowd? I think we really could get a big crowd for Paula Six and Coolidge tonight.
Well, thanks a lot and enjoy the games.
Check out more of what Josh Barr has to say at allmetsports.com, along with my color commentator here, Monica McNutt, as well her blog Transition Game on allmetsports.com. So lots of great stuff that you can check out there. And Monica, was this the first half that you expected?
It was. I will admit, first quarter, a little bit of a slow start, but I think where we are at halftime is exactly what you expect for a city title game with two very celebrated teams, but not only teams, programs. I mean, year in and year out. I can't tell you how many times. H.G. Woodson's been here 4 years, we talked about it, and then a plethora of times before that. Good Counsel's been here as well. So these are 2 known teams in women's high school basketball in this area.
Now, of course, your senior year at Georgetown, you were the lone senior on that squad. You had to take on a big leadership role, a bit of what Faith Randolph has had to do for her Good Counsel team this year. She's the lone senior that really gets significant playing time this year. Can you talk a little bit about what that's like, the pressure, and kind of try to at least talk about what you think it's been like for her this season?
Well, I know that it's been particularly tough for Faith because she dealt with a little bit of injury this year. She missed a couple of games, but she's back tonight when it matters the most. And I think being the only senior, it's hard to find a teammate that can really relate to what you're on. You love your teammates to death, don't get me wrong, but this could be it of my high school career, and no one else is there to share that with you. So I get what that feels like. But she's an outstanding player. She's an outstanding young woman. She's certainly handled it well, and she's led this team great, fabulously.
Well, you bring up another good point, because this will do it tonight for Good Counsel. Of course, Woodson will go on to play the National High School in that situation in college. Can you talk a little bit what it's like to either have to know that you're moving on from that college game, or from high school that you're moving on to a very different sport, which is college basketball?
Well, I think in high school it's a little bit more anticipation. I mean, should good counsel fall short by the time the clock says 0-0-0, Faith Randolph has nothing to hang her head about. She's had an impressive season. She's an impressive player. She's on to a fabulous college career. So in high school it's a little bit different. It's a less final than maybe an end in the NCAA tournament as a college athlete. But never mind that. I mean, I think the mistake that we make, whether we're athletes or people, we get too far ahead of ourselves. We don't get to enjoy the moment. This is big. I mean, she should totally enjoy this moment and take it in. Enjoy it for what it is.
All right, we will be right back with second half action here at WashingtonPost.com. H.D. Woodson is the balance that we've seen on offense. It's not just been one player for them. They have Bell, Huey, Brown, Blount, Green, all getting involved in the offense.
I mean, that has been beautiful for this Woodson team. When you're pressing, as Woodson has done, you're expending a lot of energy. So you're talking about getting kids in, rotating them and giving them fresh legs, but not only just a breath of fresh air for your starters, they're being productive. And that's what we've seen for Woodson. Now, as far as Good Counsel is concerned, they're going to have to handle the basketball a little bit better. When you're turning the ball over against a pressing team, you're doing exactly what they want you to do. You're playing into their hands.
And meanwhile, for Good Counsel, it's been one of their role players, Sarah Woods, 8 points in the first half, so already above her season average of 7. She has really stepped up. Meanwhile, Faith Randolph, 5 points for Randolph. She really heated it up. All 5 of those points coming in the second quarter.
In the second quarter and at very pivotal times, Randolph doing a good job of helping her team come alive right when they needed to.
Speaking of Randolph, she gets the ball inside. That shot no good for Fiora Avanti. The putback, and it's Sarah Woods.
As if right on cue.
Sarah Woods now double digits. The only player in this contest so far with double digits is the sophomore for Good Counsel, really stepping up, not intimidated at all, playing here in the Verizon Center. Shot deflected as Janae Blount drives into the lane. Nice interior defense by Good Counsel. And once again, we are all tied up 27 apiece. There have been a number of ties in this basketball game. Exactly what we expected. These two teams very evenly matched, even though their dynamics a little different. Woodson looking inside, and again, nice defense tipped away. And now Good Counsel with the opportunity to take the lead. This is Randolph for 3, no good. Rebound by Jeffany Brown.
I like that shot by Randolph, though. Taking her time. She was wide open. She just didn't knock that one down. Defensively, Good Counsel is going to have to step up. I think they did a great job in that zone of containing the penetration by Woodson.
Ronnie Bell, beautiful shot. Nice effort by Bell. She was a little quiet in the second quarter. Her 3-pointers were not falling. But a nice touch by Bell. And Woodson, another turnover now. 14 turnovers for Good Counsel. But perhaps not the shot that Woodson wanted. Blount a little off balance. Huey, nice pass. Rattles around and is good for Jeffany Brown.
Brown just showing some of that great touch and finesse around the rim.
Randolph, nicely cut off. Nice look inside to Fiora Avanti.
Good Counsel has to get back to what they know. They have to play Good Counsel's style of basketball. You see these great passes and glimpses here in this game, but that's what Good Counsel does for, not 40 minutes because we're in high school, but for the duration of the game.
A mental error right there by Woodson. And Sarah Woods continuing her dominance in this contest. Now 12 points for the sophomore.
The sophomore, we keep saying that, and that certainly bodes well for Good Counsel. I mean, again, you just get a mill of players coming in and investing. That's why these teams continue to come to games like this.
And Sarah Woods, once again, has tied this thing up. And now a defensive play by Sarah Woods. She is feeling it tonight for Good Counsel. The bucket and the foul. 14 points. A great defensive play by Sarah Woods. She is doing it all right now on the floor for Good Counsel.
She is keeping them alive. Faith Randolph needs to say thank you along with her other teammates. I mean, when you get it going, you keep going to the hot hand, and that's what Sarah Woods has brought. But I like that she's doing it offensively and defensively. Good Counsel opting to go back to man, but it's almost a sagging man. That time she just reaches in and gets the steal.
And now at the free throw line is Sarah Woods, a 70.6% free throw shooter. She has had the hot hand. As we said, she only averages 7 points per game, but has 14. She has doubled her season average. I mean, great players that are gonna be great, step it up when it counts the most. And I think Sarah Woods is going to be a big-time player for Good Counsel, if this is any indication of what she can do.
I think it's safe to say. I mean, you got to be impressed with her poise. I mean, we talked about how rattled Good Counsel was to start this game, but she has been steady for them.
And now Woodson, all of a sudden, back on their heels, down by three. Huey driving. Beautiful play by Breon Huey. And that's what was working so well for Woodson in the first quarter. Randolph now getting into the mix, seeing what Sarah Wood's able to do, stepping it up.
Is it contagious? I love that move. The pull-up, that's a college-level move. Coach Corey McNeil, one of the assistants down at UVA, has got to be excited to work with Randolph.
Randolph heading to play her college basketball at the University of Virginia, so staying fairly close. As Janae Blount heads to the free throw line for H.D. Woodson. Blount, a 72% free throw shooter, has a lot of offers on the table, yet to commit, but offers from schools like Indiana, Pittsburgh, Cleveland State, East Tennessee State, Virginia Commonwealth, so lots of people have interest in Janae Blount.
This late in the game, some people will kind of look at that as a burden that she hasn't signed yet, but I think it's a privilege. You get to really see who's already committed. Who am I going to be competing with? Who's graduating? What coaches think? So she's got a little bit of a luxury. She might want to decide sometime soon, though.
Well, certainly at some point, I think it is just nice to know. As you said, it can be a burden on your shoulders, not really knowing what your future holds. But Janae Blount, wherever she decides to go, certainly a bright future ahead for that young lady. And Faith Randolph shot no good. Teresa Gilmore with the rebound for Woodson, and quickly the other way comes Chanel Green. And Green will back things out. Huey thought about it, thought better of it, and now will set up the offense for H.D. Woodson. Huey defended by Spann. And look at Breon Huey, the sophomore class, really shining today. We talked so much about Sarah Woods for good counsel. Another sophomore is Breon Huey, averages 7.3 points per game for Woodson.
These ladies have 2 more years of one another.
And let's head back over to Daniel Zemmet for another update.
Coach Oliver really wants his girls to get back on defense as fast as they can. He doesn't want to sacrifice rebounds for it, but he still wants them to be able to set it up as quick as possible. If they can't get to the press, look to them to get all the way back into their defensive set as fast as they can. Back to you.
Thanks, Daniel. And with that, Lindsey Spann hits another big-time shot, putting good counsel up yet again by 1 point. Beautiful shot by Spann, the junior.
And Coach Oliver is dead on in terms of his team getting back and playing defense. Good counsel has figured out that if they can push the ball up the floor before Woodson can set up their pressure, they have a much better opportunity at being efficient around the rim or even getting quality shots. The last few times down, we saw Sarah Woods with the steal. We saw Faith Randolph with the pull-up. We saw her again with another pull-up, but that time falling short. If you can push the ball, especially when a pressing team is missing shots, as Woodson has done here lately, that puts the other team, which is good counsel in this case, at an advantage.
Basketball season almost over, but you can get all of your spring sports news at allmetsports.com for all your high school sports stories, game coverage, videos, photo galleries, and recruiting news. Visit allmetsports.com, a product of the Washington Post. Every school, every sport, all the time. And Breon Huey coming up big for H.D. Woodson, as now they are down by 1, under 4 minutes remaining in this third quarter, which has been a back and forth affair between these two teams. Both came out fired up after halftime. Huey looking inside for Gilmore, broken up by Woods. Woods bringing the ball up the floor, hands off to Spann, and Spann will be fouled. But I love what we're seeing out of Sarah Woods. She can handle the ball, work in transition, she can score, come up with the defensive play. Really, it's been an all-around game for Sarah Woods.
Welcome to the party, young lady. I mean, it's about time. You're talking about an incredible senior in Faith Randolph who's getting ready to graduate. Why can't it be Sarah Woods who steps up?
Lindsey Spann at the free throw line. One of the best free throw shooters on this team, 72%. And Lindsey Spann only a junior, so there's a lot left in the cupboard here for good counsel. Faith Randolph, as we said, the only senior that really gets a significant amount of playing time. And that's a huge loss. I mean, Faith Randolph graduating will be a huge loss. The chemistry of this team will definitely change, but they have a lot to be excited about next season as well. Lindsey Spann extends this lead back out to 3 for Good Counsel. Once again, Chanel Green bringing the ball up the floor for H.D. Woodson. Hands it off to Huey. Huey will try one from behind the arc. 3 on Huey. And Huey, another sophomore.
It seems like Coach Splain has kind of told his team to play this sagging defense. I think except for Huey, who's been able to hit some threes this contest.
And look at Woods inside. Beautiful post move by Sarah Woods. And now Huey handling the ball for H.D. Woodson. Fioravanti not currently in the game, but at the check-in table. Nice rebound by Light. Randolph, a little out of control. Ball tapped away, picked up by Chanel Green. Green with the handoff. Ronnie Bell feeling it for the H.D. Woodson Warriors. Wow.
A little bit of a matchup in terms of transition basketball, but Faith Randolph right on cue with the answer and the 3-ball. This is what the city title game is all about. This game is exactly what this game should be.
It does not get better than this right here at the Verizon Center. These two teams stepping up their game. Nice look inside to Jeffany Brown. And now all of a sudden, both teams' offense is clicking. And both teams' stars stepping it up. Randolph fishes off. Shot from the corner, no good by Morgan Smith.
Great hustle by Smith attempting to rein the basketball back in, but that time unable to come up with the ball. But you gotta love what you're seeing out of these teams. The game has just intensified, and each player, we talked about Sarah Woods, but she's not the only one, has stepped up to match the speed and the intensity of this game.
Absolutely. You see the emotion, you see the intensity out on the floor. Both of these two teams want this so much. And of course for H.D. Woodson, they've been here so many times. They won back-to-back championships, but for the past 2 years, they've been shut out. Meanwhile, for Good Counsel, it's been much longer for them. And of course, still thinking perhaps about 2009 when Woodson defeated them. That shot no good for Blount. Rebound by Amanda Fioravanti, who is back in the game for Good Counsel. She has fresh legs after getting some rest on the bench, and they look to Fioravanti. Nothing there. She hands off to Randolph. Randolph fouled.
I gotta say, as a fan of women's college basketball, women's high school basketball, 1, I love the turnout. 2, these teams are definitely leaving it all out. They've given everybody that's come out a reason to continue to come out and support. And then it's been beautifully done in terms of sportsmanship. Both of these teams just competing, playing basketball, not a whole bunch of extra nonsense.
That's a great point, Monica. This facility really starting to fill up. Of course, the nightcap tonight is Paul VI versus Coolidge in the boys' city title game, but this girls' game has been phenomenal so far, and we have another quarter of basketball coming up. So for everyone that's been on the edge of their seats, a lot more still to come, and right now, this back and forth affair, we are all tied up. And if you want to purchase a copy of this broadcast, you can go to www.synthesismp.com and watch this one over and over again, because it has been everything that we have expected. Wow, Sarah Woods with the big defensive block. Monica, talk about emotional impact plays.
Wow. My breath on that one. Great play by Woods. I'm thinking as you're talking about buying the broadcast, this would be the tape that she would want to buy and say, hey, I was only a sophomore, and then she comes up with a fantastic block. I love what she's brought to this game.
Well, we've talked about the players going on to play at the next level. What a great recruiting tool this game would be for Sarah Woods. We are all tied up, 1.1 second on the clock. And it will be free throws coming up for Lindsey Spann. And so she could put her team up going into the fourth quarter. Again, Lindsey Spann has been excellent from the free throw line this season. She's a 72% free throw shooter, averages 15.2 points per game. All WCAC, really a phenomenal player, only a junior. Another player that I'm sure is getting a lot of interest. Certainly someone who could play at the next level. Substitutes getting ready to come in for good counsel. Of course, Coach Tom Splain doesn't want any unnecessary fouls, wants to protect a couple of his players.
It's all right.
Andrea Watkins set to check in for H.D. Woodson as well. First shot rattles around and in for Lindsay Spann. Teresa Gilmore also coming back into this contest for Woodson. Stacy Kutris back in the contest for good counsel, along with Jordan Light and Bernadette Lonnie. So a couple of players I haven't seen much of tonight, but getting a little action in this city title game. And at the end of this third quarter, it will be the Falcons up by 2. What a comeback they've made. And then the back and forth affair of this third quarter. And again, up next, we have Paul VI versus Coolidge. I'm sure it's going to be as good as this one, but right now, this is as good as it gets.
This is, I mean, you talk about a battle of the heavyweight powers in this area of high school basketball. I'm so impressed with this team. Sometimes you see a lull in these type of games, especially now that the city title game is almost 3 weeks removed from these teams' premier parts of their high school season. But these teams have both brought it. They're bringing the intensity. They're playing together. And the thing I love the most is the wonderful quality of sportsmanship. This is a high-quality caliber of basketball. We already talked about the 3 seniors that we know. We got the 2 from Woodson headed off to Providence and Faith Randolph headed off to UVA. But we're certainly looking at more than 3 potential college athletes.
Monica, you're someone you've played in high-stakes games, you've played in close contests like this. What do you think it's going to come down to in the fourth quarter that's going to be the difference maker between the winner and the loser?
Watching this contest, I think the key for the fourth quarter is going to be poise and conditioning. We're definitely looking at a high-paced, up-and-down basketball game. Which team is going to be in the better shape to play transition basketball, but then which team can think when they're tired? People underestimate how hard that really is. When you're exhausted, it almost seems that everything goes. But the team that can maintain their poise, despite the fact that they're worn down, will probably be the team that we see hoist the trophy at the end of the game.
Well, interestingly, in the second quarter, we saw Woodson take a couple of shots that they might not have taken. They seemed to get a little overconfident, but they really got back into this contest. And then good counsel, speaking of poise, to be back on their heels. I mean, they were down by at least 13 in that first half. They came back. They're now up by 2. So both of these teams have had their moments where they've had to regain their poise in this contest. They've demonstrated that they can do it. And so now the fourth quarter underway again. Good counsel up by 2. Our score 48-46 as Jeffany Brown is going to be fouled and head to the free throw line.
There you see where this game has become also a chess game for the coaches. Coach Tom Splain had his team make the adjustment in the man. Whenever someone penetrates, we collapse, you drop down, you take away that pass. So the original pass for the shot was taken away, but Jeffany Brown, Coach Oliver probably told her to cut. You'd be open on the third pass, and indeed she was.
And one thing Jeffany Brown has struggled with is her free throw shooting, a 60.8% free throw shooter. And of course, in close contests like this in the fourth quarter, free throw shooting can win games and it can lose games. And there are 2 big free throws. Jeffany Brown not able to convert on either. She's heading to play for Providence next year, but would love to have a city title championship to take with her. Meanwhile, good counsel looking to extend their lead, and they are going to turn the ball over.
Amanda Fioravanti, that time working so hard to get the position on Jeffany Brown. She's looking at the over the head pass, over the top pass, but she just lost the thought of where she was and gets the 3-second violation.
Lots of time remaining in this fourth quarter, 7 minutes, 17 seconds on the clock. Good counsel with the 2-point lead. Nice look inside to Jeffany Brown. She hands off to Breon Huey. That shot will not fall. And now good counsel, an opportunity to extend their lead. But that shot off the mark for Kutris.
A great pass ahead, but Kutris that time just didn't have her feet under her. She almost rushed that shot a little bit too.
Blount driving. And once again, seeing what worked so well for Woodson, particularly in the first half, driving, trying to convert, drawing contact as Janae Blount heads back to the free throw line. And Lindsay Spann set to check back in for Good Counsel. Again, one of their star players, but really for Good Counsel, because we talked about it, they really have their core of 3 players that have been their nucleus this season in Faith Randolph, Lindsey Spann, and Amanda Fioravanti. But today, they haven't made as much noise as they often make.
Well, you know, Monica, what happens when you have players that are keyed in upon somebody, anybody, the other 2 players on the floor are going, they don't become forgotten, but, you know, these 3 players are garnering so much attention. If you can shoot a little bit, have a little bit of game about yourself, you know, and that's exactly what Sarah Woods has been able to do today. Those 3 players, a little bit of foul trouble, a little bit of defensive intensity, and she's kind of slipped in, almost like the Linsanity surprise.
Well, it's a good point, because when certain players draw the defense, it gives other players opportunities. And speaking of defense, nice defensive play right there by Woodson. And once again, we are all tied up 48 apiece, 6 minutes, 32 seconds remaining in this 46th annual Abe Pollin City title game between Good Counsel and Woodson. It has been a fantastic game so far. Lots more still to come. Chanel Green hands back off to Huey. Huey working against Spann. Green thought about it, driving, draws the contact. So Chanel Green continuing to be aggressive, and will head to the free throw line where she shoots 65.8%. So another player from Woodson with her struggles from the free throw line.
Transition game.
And again, for all of you athletes out there who are aspiring to move on to the next level, you're going to want to check out Monica McNutt's blog, The Transition Game, one of the recruiting insider blogs at WashingtonPost.com, where you can get some of Monica's insights about what it's like to move on and play at the next level, and some of the things that high school athletes need to be thinking about if that is your ultimate goal.
There's so much that hit me as a college athlete, as a whirlwind, and I think I was well prepared, but I try to let you know, but you really won't know till you get there, but at least I'll give you some food for thought.
Again, for all of your high school sports stories, game coverage, videos, photo galleries, and recruiting news, visit allmetsports.com, a product of the Washington Post. Every school, all the time. And just like that, Woodson extending their lead back out to 1. And you start to get the sense, Monica, that this one is going to go down to the wire. Big rebound and putback by Amanda Fioravanti.
Starting to get the sense. I think we got that sense back in the second quarter. This is a great contest. I am just thoroughly impressed with these young ladies.
Absolutely. Neither team willing to back down in this contest. Didn't know if one team would be able to put together a run, but this has been such an evenly matched game. After that first quarter, when Good Counsel came alive, and now Green working up top against Randolph. That shot no good. Fioravanti all of a sudden making her presence known on the glass. And so 5 minutes, 15 seconds remaining. Woodson up 51-50. Good Counsel looking once again for the answer. It's Faith Randolph dishing. She'll find Lindsey Spann. Spann shot no good. Blount with the rebound. And Green bringing the ball up the floor for Woodson. Woodson looking to extend this lead. Only up 1 point. Blount driving. Shot no good. Fioravanti again being very aggressive on the boards. I have really, Monica, been impressed with her rebounding.
That's what she does. Heckled by a little bit of foul trouble in the first half, but that's what she does. Not only, I told you, she's a garbage kid. She's getting rebounds, she's getting putbacks, she's hitting timely shots around the top of the key. But I'm impressed with this Good Counsel's team commitment to defending. Faith Randolph, the star, but she's also locking up the nothing short of explosive Chanel Green on defense.
Woodson, nice defensive play. Look ahead to Chanel Green. Woods tries to break it up and gives Sarah Woods a lot of credit right there for preventing that layup.
It was an all-out sprint. She was down here around the three-point line right in front of us, and she sprinted to catch Chanel Green, who I mentioned is nothing short of explosive, doing just enough to disrupt that shot without drawing a foul.
And again, up next, No doubt another good one coming up featuring the Paul VI Panthers versus the Coolidge Colts, the boys' city title game. And certainly, I think that one is going to be a great one. There's going to be a lot of future Division I talent out on the floor. I think Paul VI is the deeper team, but Coolidge has been so hot. You heard Josh Barr talking about this upcoming contest between these two teams. And I think what's so special about this matchup, Monica, is unlike this game, where you have two teams that they've been to the party a couple of times before. You have Paul VI, they've never been here. You have Coolidge, they haven't been here since 1988, and they did not win the city title game that year. So talk about wanting this, because they're going to make history for their schools. Whoever wins tonight, it's going to be a massive deal for their program.
You love the shakeup. I mean, in the women's game, we're a little bit behind in terms of seeing the same teams over and over again, but Paul VI, Coolidge, I had a chance to watch the WCAC tournament, and then I read about Coolidge when they upset Gonzaga. I talked with Stephanie Evans about that. I joked with her that that was a city title preview, and you know, the DCIAA, they're just so excited to see a revival of the quality of basketball in this area. My dad's been an official for over 25 plus years, and he said it, you know, this area, the quality of high school basketball on the men's side has been depleted here recently, but to see it coming back, and you see guys that are 6'8", 6'4", who make commitments to playing defense and not only scoring the basketball, it's exceptional.
So again, you are going to want to tune into that contest as well between Paul VI and Coolidge, but right now 4 minutes, 21 seconds remaining in this one. Nice drive. Woodson, Janae Blunt able to extend this lead once again, 53 to 50, Woodson ahead. Good counsel now looking for the answer. They find Woods. Woods looking inside to Fiora bouncing, and good counsel's going to turn it over.
I'd almost ask their officials to check the monitor on that call, but you know, that's one thing that Amanda Fioravanti will probably learn in her senior year next year. If you're going to steal, you've got to steal. You can't allow someone athletic and quick like Jeffrey Brown to get around you. She's going to disrupt that pass, and in this case, the call favored Woodson.
We are now under 4 minutes in this contest. Again, Woodson up by 3. And an opportunity to extend that lead even more. 53 to 50, H.D. Woodson and Ronnie Bell heads to the free throw line where she shoots 79.5% from the line. The best free throw shooter on this team now at the free throw line is Ronnie Bell. Bell averaging 10 points per game, but that one no good. So a bit of a break right there for good counsel, down by 3. Second opportunity coming up for the senior, who again is yet to commit. That has a lot of offers on the table. Indiana, High Point, Memphis, Middle Tennessee State, Pittsburgh among them. And look at that steal by Chanel Green. Chanel Green, the senior, taking advantage of the sophomore right there.
And counsel falling asleep a little bit at the wheel here. You can't ever fall asleep and become lackadaisical with a player like Chanel Green lying around.
Chanel Green going to be joining Bethany Brown at Providence. And that's pretty special, Monica. 2 players from the same team going to the same college program, so they're going to get to play together for 4 more years.
You're talking about a total, these girls will play together 9 years, assuming all goes well. They played in the same AAU basketball team in 8th grade.
And that team, of course, coached by Frank Oliver Jr. So they've been with Frank Oliver Jr. for a while, familiar with his coaching style. And everything right now going the way of H.D. Woodson. 3 minutes, 33 seconds remaining. Woodson 54, good counsel 50. And Breon Huey, the sophomore, very aggressive, draws the contact. And she will head to the free throw line as Breon Huey, the Falcons now in the bonus. Breon Huey shoots 67.2% from the free throw line. And that one is perfection for Breon Huey.
If the Falcons can come down and get a quick score in response, it'll be interesting to see if Coach Blaine has his team switch back into that zone that we saw give Woodson so much problem in the second quarter.
Ice water in her veins. Leon Huey knocks down both, but the senior, Faith Randolph, not willing to let this one slip away.
Ice water in the veins. Faith Randolph with a heads-up play going straight to the rim.
And Faith Randolph has had her moments in this game. And Monica, you said it a little earlier, it's been big-time plays that she's had. She's not dominated, had a 30-point contest, but when her team has needed her to step up, she has, and that's what seniors do.
That's exactly what seniors do. Understanding time and scoring situations. She came down and hesitated at just about the 3-point line. She saw Fioravanti in the paint fighting with her opponent. Enough fighting that it would turn into a screen, taking that lane to the basket and finishing it off. A very timely basket, cutting the lead to 4 with 3 minutes and 19 seconds to go.
Absolutely. Now, what do you think the coaches are saying to their respective teams in the huddle right now? I mean, this is do or die time.
Well, as I mentioned, it'll be interesting to see if Coach Blaine has his team go back into a zone. One-on-one, we see that Woodson has the advantage athletically. I'm sure Coach Oliver is saying take it to the man or zone. We can get to the rim, and that's where we see some success. So I'm sure he wants that to continue. However, it's going to be pivotal that neither team turn the basketball over at this point. HG Woodson is in the 1-on-1. The council has got to get there. They haven't forced Ms. Woodson to foul enough.
When we talked about that, free throws can become very important down the stretch, particularly in a game as close as this one. So both teams are going to have to convert when they get to the free throw line.
They definitely are going to have to convert, but the council is going to have to make a commitment to defending. They really can't stand to let this lead get any bigger at this point in the game.
So it is a 4-point lead right now for HD Woodson. 56-52, 3 minutes, 19 seconds remaining in this 46th annual Abe Pollin City Title Girls High School basketball game. Woodson looking for their first title since 2009. And of course, Good Counsel looking for their first title, I think, since 2006. Huey working against Randolph.
Randolph just committed to staying in front of Huey, who we know is extremely quick.
Now driving against Woods, gets the shot up, rattles around, no good. Brown fighting for the rebound, but is not going to be rewarded for her efforts. It is Good Counsel basketball, and Good Counsel desperately needed this possession.
I don't know that Coach Lane could have drawn that up any better himself. No fouls and the ball, no score.
Faith Randolph handling the ball for Good Counsel. She'll hand off to Kutris. Now Fioravanti up top, and look at Chanel Green in the passing lanes. The layup. Wow, what a defensive play by Green.
Lindsay Spann has to know Chanel Green is going to shoot that passing lane. You have to meet that pass.
Faith Randolph, that one will not fall. Woods with the rebound. Gets it to Fioravanti. I don't think that was a pass. Fioravanti blocks Splain. Cannot believe it. And now, 2 minutes, 10 seconds remaining. Woodson up by 6. Our score 58-52. Chanel Green, the hero right now. After that steal, able to stretch this lead out to make this at least 2 possessions. Plenty of time remaining. Blunt shot will not fall. Fioravanti battling for the rebound. Gives it to Randolph. And Randolph pushing the ball up the floor. She wants to take this shot. And the Good Counsel fans cannot believe it. But Monica, she was set.
Wow. I'm going to join the Good Counsel fans on that one, Monica. I am perturbed by that call. Am I allowed to feel that strongly about a call? A great move by Faith Randolph, clearly under control, coming to a jump stop, pulling up prior to Chanel Green. I would have to say Green just deserves an Oscar, I suppose.
But Monica, I think if Woodson wins this game, we're going to go back to that play as a really big difference maker in this contest, because it could have cut the score to 4, and now Woodson with an opportunity to extend this lead even further. Green with the ball, and they can run some time off this clock right now if they so choose.
Talk about a tough break for Good Counsel. I mean, what a stroke of luck for Woodson. Wow, I'm stuck.
Huey right now operating against Kutris. And right Stacey Kukras has to foul Chanel Green, a 65.8% free throw shooter. We talked about it, Monica. Free throws are huge. And right now, Chanel Green going to try to get a little insurance for her team. 1 minute, 15 seconds remaining. Woodson 58. Good Counsel 52. A tough break, as we said, for Good Counsel when Faith Randolph was called for the charge. And now Chanel Green getting it done from the free throw line.
Doing exactly what she should as a senior. Her best effort to secure this win for the Warriors.
And right now, the Woodson fans starting to feel it just a little bit. They're up by 7. Now it's a 3-possession game, at least 1 minute, 15 seconds remaining. There is time, but right now, Good Counsel is going to have to be really efficient on offense.
Good Counsel is going to have to get a quick score, and then they're going to have to commit from deep down in the bottom of their souls defensively, because the athleticism of Woodson has just worn them down in this last 3:20 or so.
Well, absolutely, and right now Woodson's doing the one thing that they have to do, which is hit their free throws. A lot of pressure on the shoulders of Chanel Green. She knocked down the first one. The second one too strong. Look at Jeffany Brown. It's going to be Good Counsel basketball. 1 minute, 14 seconds remaining. Not a lot of time. And no surprise, Woodson applying the pressure right here. Woods gets the ball inbounds to Randolph. Looking for Fioravanti. And Fioravanti was arguing, making sure the officials knew that that was Good Counsel basketball, but it was last touched by Woodson.
A great look-ahead pass by Faith Randolph, just a little bit too much on it that time. A lucky break that it actually goes off of a Woodson player.
Beautiful play, exactly what Good Counsel needed to do right there. The quick play, the set play, off of the out-of-bounds opportunity. And right now, Leon Huey handling the ball. Frank Oliver Jr. going to call timeout right here. I was expecting a quick foul from Good Counsel, but of course Woodson calling timeout.
Well, I think Coach Plain is probably told, and they changed out of this timeout, if we can't get a quick steal, then foul. We're looking at a 5-point game, but you've got players that are capable of knocking down a 3, so there's still hope, excuse me, but it's going to be imperative that whatever Good Counsel is going to do, they're going to have to do it quick. And then the stroke of luck that a Woodson player misses a free throw.
Absolutely. You have to think the player they don't want on the free throw line is Ronnie Bell, shooting 79.5% from the free throw line, the best free throw shooter for this Woodson club. But of course, Woodson has been pretty strong today. They've had a lot of contributions. We talked about that at halftime. It's a balanced effort. Everyone's been in the mix. And so whoever it is that ends up at the free throw line going to have to knock down those shots. And then for Good Counsel, just as we saw, they have to be as efficient on offense as what we just saw out of them.
They will have to be just as efficient in it. We're not talking about a lot of time, so it's going to have to be a quick, confident, decisive decision, whatever they decide to do. But you can bet that Chanel Green is probably going to get the ball put in her hands.
54.8 seconds remaining in this city title game. Woodson, 59, Good Counsel, 54. It has been phenomenal from start to finish. And it's going to be Ronnie Bell inbounding the ball, defended by Sarah Woods, the sophomore that we have talked so much about in today's contest. Woodson getting the ball inbounds to Chanel Green. She will head back to the free throw line where she shot 50% on her last trip. She made the first, missed the second. Again, she is a 65.8% free throw shooter. And Monica, it's going to be a tough call, but if Woodson wins this game, who do you think their player of the game should be?
Oh, wow. That is tough. I would probably say Green, the senior, well, 1 of 4, obviously, but I think some of her late game heroics made a difference.
Well, I agree, and she now is having to get it done from the free throw line. That was a big-time shot right there by a player, again, 65.8% from the free throw line. But getting it done when it counts, once again giving her team a little insurance. It's at least a 2-possession game right now. Woodson up by 6, 53.1 seconds remaining. That one will not fall. Brown, however, keeping it alive, gets the ball to Huey, and now Good Counsel is going to send a sophomore, a 67.2% free throw shooter, to the free throw line. And now Breon Huey has an opportunity to make this a 3-possession game. Double bonus.
Should this game end in double figures? I don't think any score other than double overtime 1 point would have really indicated how hard these two teams fought.
I think that that's exactly right. You have to give credit to both teams, and of course this one far from over. But right now, Woodson doing themselves some favors from the free throw line as Breon Huey knocks down both. And so time now of the essence for Good Counsel. Faith Randolph. Wow, I did not see that coming. They turned the ball over. Faith Randolph and Aaron Cass. And now Randolph going to have to decide whether she's going to foul Huey. She does. Huey just hit 2 straight from the free throw line, and you really hear it now in the Verizon Center. The HD Woodson fans are on their feet. They're really starting to feel it with 33.4 seconds remaining.
I mean, this team should be celebrated. Some of the things that they were able to accomplish this year. And like I said, even if you didn't see them play at all this year, but you saw this game, it could have gone either way. You've got to be excited for both teams.
And right now you have to be excited for Breon Huey because the sophomore, 3 consecutive free throws, really putting this one out of reach for Good Counsel. She is going to make this a double-digit ball game. Woodson 64, Good Counsel 54. And look at Chanel Green. Well, you talked about it, Monica. She's doing everything for her team tonight. And the Woodson fans are on their feet. It looks very much like the DCIAA is going to win the city title game this year. It will be a double-digit victory for the HD Woodson Warriors, and they really earned it.
They did earn it. And talk about those 4 seniors, Bell, Green, Brown. They just deserve it.
And that will do it. Your 46th annual A. Pullen City Title Girls High School Basketball Championship game winners are the HD Woodson Warriors. A 10-point win over Good Counsel, and it was outstanding by both of these two teams. But HD Woodson was the better team tonight. From start to finish, they were clicking right out of the gates. I think that set the tone, and really they never looked back.
That's exactly what happened. I mean, they threw that punch earlier. They withstood the punches back by the Good Counsel Falcons. A fabulously fought game. But at the end, we talked about it, the team with the better conditioning. I think the depth and the experience of this Woodson team helps push them on to a victory. At the end, they weren't as tired as Good Counsel looked to me. I mean, you saw players huffing and puffing, and rightfully so. But they were able to maintain their poise and make key plays at key moments. Thus, they are the champions.
Well, and we talked about it. It was HD Woodson that was off for a couple of weeks, at least in terms of playing competition. They instead had to scrimmage against each other. They scrimmaged against former teammates who have gone on to play at the next level. But they came out today. They were so fresh. They were ready to go, really playing like a championship caliber team, and a huge victory for them here today. So since 2009, no win, and then today they win it. And now Daniel Dimmitt is with our winning coach and player of the game.
I'm standing here with the city title champions, HD Woodson, Coach Oliver and Chanel Green. Coach, how are you guys able to pull this one out so close, back and forth, down to the wire?
It was all about defense. As you can see, we turned under pressure, we made an adjustment, and it made the turnovers, and we were able to capitalize on those turnovers.
You talk about the commitment of your players throughout this entire season.
This their whole career. I mean, when you come in our program, you have to be in it from start to finish. I mean, it's a year-round process, academically as well as athletically. So these young ladies are the most committed young ladies that I've ever coached. I'm so proud of them.
Chanel, what's it like to win a game like this on your senior year?
It's overwhelming. It's so overwhelming just to know that all our hard work has gone to something so big like this. We're just so excited.
Can you talk about what it's like to play in the Verizon Center in front of so many people?
Again, it's overwhelming. It's tremendously fun. Like, we get to show our fans what we can do, and we just love it. That's what we practice for.
Well, congratulations to both of you, and good luck in the future. Back to you.
Well, and so a huge win tonight, Monica, for HD Woodson. They are your 46th annual Abe Pullen City Title Championship winners, again, thanks so much for joining us, and continue to check in for these live stream broadcasts at WashingtonPost.com.
We'll be right back with the boys game.
We will be right back with the boys game, again featuring Paul VI versus the Coolidge Colts, another good one that you absolutely do not want to miss.